So lay down. Here we go.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the AD3.0 Wrestling Podcast.
Good
I
show.
am Tony Robb here alongside
Demo. What is good, everybody?
Yeah, we wanted to do this for quite some time now. We wanted to do this for a very long time, but didn't have the time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we had the time. We're lazy. We're just pretty lazy individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot to talk about. We got Summerslam coming up in 2 weeks. We got the G1 Climax going on right now. We also got the women's evolution thing coming up in quite some time. The women's evolution pay-per-view will be hitting us in October 29th.
I think it's
the end of October. So we got that. We're going to talk about that and cover that a little bit. We also got Slammiversary that just passed. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, before we get into that, we're going to talk about a little bit of some news that went on within the past couple of weeks. Good Lord. So we're going to talk about a little bit of news, a little bit of passing news that happened. If I could just pull this up right here. This is a message. As we know, Jerry Lawler's son, he killed himself while he was in prison, or he has passed away. He was a group that was known to be with Scotty Too Hottie and what was the group's name?
Too Cool.
Too Cool. He was wasn't he one of the members?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
Grandmaster Sexy.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
I just realized, yeah, Grandmaster Sexy.
Real name Brian Christopher.
Brian Christopher has passed on. And Scotty Too Hottie, he did make a tweet about this. I'm gonna read off the last tweet he said. The comment on Brian Christopher's death. He said, "This is from the last time that the three of us were sitting in the ring together. Brian and I were different people outside of the ring. We never traveled together, never roomed together, and never really hung out together. But every single time that we went through that curtain, we made magic together. Magic that will never be replaced. We were too cool, and I will miss you." So that's the last. Those are the words that Scotty Too Hottie, who was which was always known for a tag team member with Grandmaster Sexay and the group of Too Cool alongside Rikishi. Those are sad words, man. Those are sad statements. Knowing that he's passed away, because you know, whenever someone passed, including like a wrestler, it's always like a really bad thing. We had Vader passing a couple months back. We had someone else just passed.
Nikolai Volkov.
He didn't pass on like the same day.
Yeah, him and somebody else too. I forget what the guy's name was.
What was it going on? Like they all killed each other at the same time, or?
I guess Nikolai Volkov was just old. And the other one, I have no idea.
Wow. But a lot of deaths have been going on in the wrestling community. A lot of deaths have been going on in the world, period. I mean, I still think one of the worst death periods was like 2015 when you had like Roddy Piper passing away and Sting passing. Not Sting. Ultimate Warrior.
Sting.
When Ultimate Warrior passed away. But yeah, that's very sad for him to say his last words. But moving on, we also got what do we got here? Oh, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey has made her switch from the UFC going to the WWE. And so far, in my opinion, she's done a pretty good job. She had her first match at WrestleMania, tag teaming with Kurt Angle against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I honestly think that was the best match at WrestleMania. And then she had a pretty great match against Nia Jax for the Women's Championship at Money in the Bank about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
But that is okay because next week she will have her first match against, and here is the description for it. It says Ronda Rousey's first ever match on WWE Monday Night Raw will take place on next week's show in Jacksonville, Florida. The match was set up after Alicia Fox defeated Natalya thanks to the help from Alexa Bliss. After the match, Rousey went after Bliss, but Fox attacked her. However, Rousey picked up Fox and executed a trademark judo throw that opened the door for Ronda Rousey to chase after Bliss at the ringside, but Fox got out of the way and attacked Rousey. Later on, Kurt Angle would announce that next week Ronda Rousey would take on Alicia Fox next week. What are your thoughts on this?
The match gonna suck.
You think so?
No, well, it might not suck, but it might be a squash match.
I think it will be a squash match. I also think it's going to be an established thing to see how Ronda Rousey is going to do. Ronda Rousey, as you know, she's been doing very, very good in UFC. Yeah, she lost 2 fights, you know, stuff like that to Cyborg. But everybody losing to Cyborg, you know. Cyborg is Cyborg, so you're going to lose that battle. Yeah, what's up? And if you're watching this, whether if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later on, thank you guys for watching, and your support is very welcome. We're going to do another podcast later on talking about movies for your non-wrestling fans, so it's cool. But Ronda Rousey, she's known for being one of the better. I think when it's all said and done, she's a trademark in UFC and what it is today with women, and she's the first ever woman to be in the Hall of Fame for UFC. And for her making the transition from UFC to wrestling, we all know that's not an easy thing to do, especially in the time that she's done it. She's been training very well from what I've seen, and what she has shown me, she has one of the potential to become one of the best ever to step into the square circle. Now, I threw this out there. I want to know from your perspective, what do you see going forward, Ronda Rousey's future endeavors with the company? We got the Women's Evolution pay-per-view going on. We also got WrestleMania coming on. What are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey and how she will go forward? We know she's facing Alicia Fox next week. How do you think that's going to fare, and where do you think her career is going to go, and how you think she'll do?
I think she's going to probably squash Alicia Fox. And then they already announced she's facing Alexa Bliss at Summerslam. And she's probably going to win the Women's Championship, because you really can't put Alexa Bliss over Ronda Rousey.
True.
And then she's probably going to hold the title going into Evolution. And she'll probably have a high caliber match there. I'm not sure against who. I have no clue if they bring a legend back, or, I mean, I don't know who else they could have her go against there, but I think she might hold the title to WrestleMania, maybe.
Possibly.
I've been hearing all this stuff about, they say they want to do Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it might be that. People are even saying they want it to be the main event of WrestleMania. I don't know what they're going to do. They might, with all their first time evers.
Well, I mean, for me, for it to be the main event of WrestleMania, that's a bit of a stretch. But you also have to look at it as Ronda Rousey was one of the better parts of WrestleMania 34. And Charlotte is one of the better women's wrestlers on the roster. So, with the idea of those two main eventing WrestleMania, kind of eases my mind a little bit and kind of chills it. Like, I'm chill on it. I'm not too, like, they shouldn't do that, or I don't feel like they're trying to force it down my throats. I really do think that Ronda Rousey and Charlotte could main event WrestleMania 35, and it could stand the test of time.
Well, maybe when the time comes, they'll probably shove it down your throat.
Possibly.
Like they are at Evolution already.
Well, it's a good thing that you just brought up Evolution. We've been talking about Evolution for quite some time. As you all know, that October,
it's a mystery.
Sometime October 30th or the end of October, there will be the first ever women's pay-per-view. So with that said, we got...
Can I bring up something real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So, I heard that since they have the pay-per-view called Evolution now, and they had a group called Evolution, they're going to be calling it different things now. The pay-per-view is going to be called Evolution, and the group Evolution, they're going to call Evolution. It's really stupid, but that's what I've been hearing.
By who?
I heard it some dirt sheets.
Yeah, they don't need to do that. That will be, if they do that, I'm going on Titan Towers myself. No, but no, that's completely stupid. If they do that, that's completely the wrong call.
I don't know why they called it that anyway. I thought they would have called something like Revolution, maybe,
or women, something, I don't know, something more creative.
I don't know.
However, we do have confirmation that over 50 names will be on hand for the first ever all-women pay-per-view. It will be announced in the press release by the V at some point. Names that are meant to show up or supposedly supposed to show up for this pay-per-view: Trish Stratus, Lita, and a couple of names are also said to be brought back. Also, people have been bringing up Beth Phoenix and it's to be one of the confirmed names for the pay-per-view. Beth Phoenix has some words to say about this. I'm going to read this off to you, which Beth Phoenix said. She said, "I am flattered by the WWE Universe. Response to me being at WWE Evolution. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Thank you for the many more of all these years. My heart is so full. Much love and fest." So there you go. We have Beth Phoenix, who is confirmed to be at this Evolution pay-per-view. Also, sticking with the theme of the Evolution pay-per-view, I was sitting there thinking about, what do you think, what is, you can give your list and I can give you mine. What would be your all women's dream match lineups with all women with NXT?
You mean like match card?
Match card, yeah. The match card, for, like a dream match card with, people from the past, TNA even, NXT.
Well, they do have matches announced already.
Okay.
It was, not like confirmed like people, but they said that the Raw Women's title will be defended, the SmackDown Women's title will be defended, the NXT Women's Championship is going to defend it, and they're having the finals of the Mae Young Classic on the show.
Okay.
So I'm assuming Ronda Rousey is going to be the champion going in Evolution, and I would hope that Carmella's not the champion going in Evolution, and I'm pretty sure Shayna Baszler is going to be NXT champion still by that point.
Possibly.
Because it's not that far away. I'm not sure, because I know Kairi Sane is the number one contender for Shayna Baszler's NXT Women's Championship. She won the number one contenders match. I don't know if they're going to wait till then to do that, or if they're going to be doing it at the upcoming TakeOver.
Well, I know that TakeOver, I'm pretty sure, like you said, I'm pretty sure the TakeOver is going to be Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler for the title. I think they were throwing out something where I kept seeing the triple threat thrown out there somewhere. I don't know if that's like still confirmed or not. I haven't been following up on that as of late, but that's something I could see. If I had to go for you can go ahead and look that up. A wish list, a good match card wish list that I think that I would put together. The first match that came into mind for me, Trish Stratus and Sasha Banks. That's a match that I think those two could, I feel like those two are somewhat similar. I don't know, that match to me seems pretty good. Someone also brought up Sasha Banks. I mean, not Sasha Banks. Someone also brought up Trish Stratus and Lita versus the Iconics. And they said that they could play it off, that Iconics saying that they feel like they're more iconic than Trish Stratus and Lita. I also thought of Bianca Belair taking on Ember Moon, or Bianca Belair taking on
Just got quiet.
I'm trying to think of a name who she should go against. Maybe Sasha Banks. There you go. Maybe an Asuka versus Kairi Sane. That was a match I wanted for like a while. I thought it was going to happen. I thought that they were going to do Kairi Sane how they did Asuka and build her up. And I thought we were eventually going to see Kairi Sane taking on Asuka for the NXT Championship. Of course, we never got that. But that could be a match that could happen. I always wanted Lita versus Paige. But Paige is hurt, so I don't think we'll get that.
Paige is GM now.
If we could get TNA wrestlers, I think a match I really want to see, Gail Kim versus...
That ain't happening.
It's not happening.
Did you see what Gail Kim said about it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
She's not too happy. She doesn't like WWE. Or this is probably like I don't know. This could suck depending on how Nia Jax likes to work, but Nia Jax and Awesome Kong.
Yeah.
I think and here's the thing about
Karma, wouldn't it?
Well, it'd be Karma, but here's the thing about all this whole women's evolution and women's revolution type deal when it comes to all of this. Gail Kim and Karma started all of this. Gail Kim and Awesome Kong, Karma, and TNA were putting some of the best women matches in the world at the time when they were going at it back in like maybe 07, 08, something like that. And when these two women were going at it, like they started putting a marquee on women's wrestling of like, oh, okay, these women's wrestlers, like women's wrestling can be an important thing. I think Awesome Kong Comet is probably, in my opinion, one of the top 10, top 5 best women's wrestlers in the world, or should be for a Hall of Fame list. She doesn't get the type of recognition that she should, but for a woman of her size, she was doing some impressive, amazing stuff. And I mean, like, you know, everybody talks about China and how China was like a trailblazer, and China was doing many different things. Of like, not only was she beating up the women, but she was beating up men too. So was Karma. So was Awesome Kong. I think she chokeslammed Kazarian at one point, or chokeslammed Christopher Daniels, and like got some height on him. So it'll be pretty interesting. We'll talk about it next week as well. More of a match card, just a little teaser. I don't know how I don't know if I fully want a women's all pay-per-view. I don't think the people that they have on Raw and SmackDown, I don't think they deserve it. Well, I don't.
Why do you say that?
Well, I don't think what we are seeing on Mondays and Fridays, Tuesdays. Yes, Mondays and Tuesdays. I don't think the women's wrestlers are right now are putting on the best work that they could be. Of course, this is not their fault, but the two women's champions, when you're the champion of your brand or your division or whatever it may be, I'm a firm believer in you need to be putting out the best quality content for your championship. Alexa Bliss and Carmella are not doing that, and I think that's my whole biggest problem. And because they're not doing that, you got some of the best women's wrestlers, they're being sidelined, being put to the back. Women like Sasha Banks and Bayley and Asuka and Ruby Riott and...
Do you see they're like a team now? Sasha Banks and Bayley. They're called the Boss and Hood Connection.
Yeah, they're supposedly at one point, they're supposedly supposed to be a tag team titles.
Oh yeah, they still plan on having women's tag team titles. It's supposed to be like... it's gonna go across all brands, so they'll defend it on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK.
Well, I think that's because that's the best way. That's the best way and possibly only. I think that's probably the best way and only way you can do it.
Could you imagine if they had separate women's tag team titles for Raw, SmackDown, and like that'd be too much.
It's too much already. I think it's too much. Don't at me.
I heard rumors of a women's intercontinental title too.
Yeah, no. That's
yeah, no.
Yeah, that's just adding too much. We're switching the topic a little bit. We're gonna go a little bit on Brock Lesnar.
Actually, there's something I wanted to bring up about Evolution.
Okay.
So, they're talking about a bunch of the women legends returning. Who would you want to see return the most?
Return the most.
I have WWE's poll right here, and out of these names, which would you? Okay, phone. Which would you like to see return the most?
Okay.
And I'll tell you the results of the poll.
Okay.
So, Molly Holly, Layla,
Mm-hmm.
Michelle McCool, AJ Lee, Eve Torres, Summer Rae, Beth Phoenix, Jacqueline, Kelly Kelly, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, and Alundra Blaze.
This is the poll?
Yeah.
This should be so obvious of who should come back. It's got to be AJ Lee.
Alright, now I'm going to read you the results. Molly Holly got 2%, Layla got 2%, Michelle McCool got 4%, Eve Torres got 2%, Summer Rae got 2%, Beth Phoenix got 4%, Jacqueline got 1%, Kelly Kelly got 5%, Tori Wilson got 3%, Stacy Keibler got 4%, Alundra Blaze got 2%, and AJ Lee got 69%.
Yeah.
Of the votes. If that doesn't tell them that people want AJ Lee back, I don't know what will.
Out of all those women, Jacqueline was a marquee in women's wrestling at one point in time. Michelle McCool wasn't bad. Michelle McCool coming back. We already saw her at the Royal Rumble. We expect Michelle McCool to be back at the Evolution pay-per-view in October. But when you talk about who should come back, I didn't even think about her, AJ Lee. So the fact that you brought that up, if AJ Lee was to come back for the pay-per-view, I think it would be tremendous. I think it would be absolutely amazing. AJ Lee and Paige, we want to talk about an evolution and a revolution and a change in women's wrestling. Women's wrestling was dead to me. AJ Lee came in. She started doing stuff with Kane and CM Punk, and it was like, okay. But then Paige came in, and just Paige and AJ Lee was putting on some of the best matches in a while. Like I really enjoyed it. That AJ Lee and Paige were actually making me look at women's wrestling and pay attention to and go, okay, women can wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Paige is retired. AJ Lee's kind of in this retirement kind of mode. But if you can get AJ Lee to come back and be on this show, I think that'd be amazing.
Do you think it would just be like a one-off?
Well, I mean, we know kind of sort of she wants to come back. Whether if that's still in her mind at this juncture, we don't know. Only her and CM Punk knows, and maybe close friends know how she really feels about wrestling. I still believe in the back of my mind that she still wants to wrestle. I just believe that CM Punk is kind of not holding her back, but because of what happened and because of his feelings for it, I kind of feel like she's staying away from it because he is.
Mm-hmm.
But only time we can tell. I think it's a big possibility. Now that I think about it, I think it's a very big possibility that she could come back for a one-off deal and maybe see where she wants to go from there, whether or not she'll go home and go, okay, I can still do this. Maybe I could, continue to do this or not. Who knows? But I think that's a big possibility. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about Brock Lesnar.
Brock, I can't breathe.
Brock Lesnar last night was Monday Night Raw was last night. It was a very interesting show. I didn't watch the majority of it, but I did catch some of the bigger things that need to be mentioned. And one of the bigger things that need to be mentioned was Brock Lesnar. So I'm going to read off a little story about what happened last night, and we'll talk about it for a second here. It said Brock Lesnar was not in a good mood when Monday Night Raw went off the air, and Mike Rome just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Rome tried to interview Lesnar as he walked through the curtain, but things didn't go exactly how he expected. Lesnar immediately grabbed Rome by the throat and said, I don't have time. I don't have any thoughts at Summerslam. I'm just going to kick Roman Reigns' ass. And for those who missed it on Raw, Lesnar attacked Kurt Angle and suddenly broke things off with Paul Heyman. They were teasing a split throughout the show, and the final segment came off like it was the end of Lesnar's affiliation with Paul Heyman. It's unclear what this means for Heyman going forward, but it is scheduled for a Raw show in Greensboro. It's more likely that they scripted Lesnar and Heyman split because Lesnar is expected to leave WWE after SummerSlam. Your thoughts?
I do think Brock's gonna leave, because he's re-entering he's definitely going to UFC because he's re-entering the testing pool, and he's doing the whole thing with Dan however you say it, DC.
Dan Gilbert.
Yeah, no. It's DC. Something Cormier.
Danny. Cormier. Yeah.
And they said that's gonna happen.
Hell, Dan Gilbert.
I don't know what you be talking about sometimes.
Okay.
But yeah, he's re-entering the drug testing pool, and he won't be able to even fight for I think they said 6 months or something like that.
Wow.
Which is January, February-ish, and Dana White even confirmed that the next UFC championship match is Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Cormier. So he'll definitely be if he doesn't drop the title though, that's going to be the most confusing thing.
Well,
unless they want to have him walk into UFC with the Universal Championship for publicity and stuff like that.
That could be a possibility. Because I sat there and I sat back and I watched Brock Lesnar do his whole thing, and the way he treated Paul Heyman, the way he treated the championship, the way he treated himself, and the way he acted, and it felt forced. It felt kind of out of place. We know Lesnar is the kind of person who doesn't care, but that was a bit out of character even for him. Yeah. I still felt okay, why did... Because this was the first time that they've given us a thing of like Brock just like not necessarily hates Paul, but like you're gonna treat him badly.
Mm-hmm.
They've never ever since he came back gave us like a reason that Brock Lesnar would treat Paul Heyman like that. So for him to kind of just out of the blue, out of nowhere, kind of do that, it kind of threw me off. But yeah, it does seem like they have split, and because they have split, that does lead me to believe that come SummerSlam that he will drop the title, whether if his Reigns beats him or Braun Strowman cashing in on either Roman or Brock. I do think he'll probably lose the strap. However, you bringing up that he's gonna fight Daniel Cormier in UFC, they could do a thing. We've done it before, like WrestleMania. We thought Brock was gonna lose the title. Roman and Brock retained. So and this is like the second time we thought that, because there was like another time we thought, okay, Brock's gonna lose, they're gonna get this out of title.
The Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Greatest Royal Rumble. We thought, okay, they were saving it for an Indian crowd because we know the Indian crowd likes Roman. Roman got the title there. Didn't happen. So 3 times we could, it could be the same thing. Of just like you said, they could want Lesnar to hold the Universal title going into his UFC fight with Daniel Cormier. And if he wants to do that, I mean, that'd be pretty good. I mean, get some publicity for WWE. I don't necessarily think that would be too good of publicity because of the single fact that I think UFC watchers, some are wrestling fans, some are not. The ones who are not, they look at wrestling as it's super, fake. Get it out of here. So him holding the title, I don't think where that's gonna.
I don't think the title he's holding really helps either.
Yeah.
Because like it would just seem weird if he goes in Universal Champion. I don't know. It seems weird to me. Like if it was me, I'd rather him go as WWE champion. Like that would make more sense. Because you wouldn't see like somebody say somebody from UFC came to WWE with the title and they come with like the UFC Universal Champion. That just is weird. You want your biggest title there. They make the Universal title the biggest title, but it ain't.
It shouldn't be, but that's how they present it.
Yeah.
But I don't think maybe publicity. Sure, you make it a tagline. Oh, Brock Lesnar's the champion. WWE. He's fighting Daniel Cormier, and if he wins. Well, shoot, if he wins, if he becomes UFC World Champion and Universal Champion, well, shoot. Yeah, that's going to give some big publicity for WWE of like, hey, this is a wrestler, and he came over to fight this UFC dude, and he won. But it's still Brock Lesnar, so it's not going to be that big of a shaky thing. But if he still does it, that's pretty big.
Well, I feel like if he goes with the Universal title, the people in UFC are going to treat the title like it's a joke. Because the title really has no value to it. Yeah. But then you have the WWE Championship that's like, what, more than 50 years of like lineage behind it? And that's like an important title. And I feel like Brock going with the Universal Championship, that he's going to go in there and be like, oh, he's just a fake champion. They'll be like, oh, he's a fake ass champion. And they're going to be like, this is a real championship. Yeah. And if you take the WWE Championship, they'll be like, oh, that's a more legit championship.
Well, in terms of publicity and in terms of marketing, WWE is going to benefit off of that. That is for certain. However, in the eyes of the fans, they might crap all over Brock for that title. If he brings that title into UFC, I mean, it's going to be. We'll see how things go. Have they announced when that pay-per-view will be?
No, I just heard it's after whenever. After whenever he's done with the drug testing, and if he passes the drug testing, then they'll get that set up for whatever UFC event.
So sometime we're probably talking maybe 2019.
Sometime early next year, like between like January to like April in that time period.
Fair enough. Yeah, time will tell. We'll see how things go in 2 weeks or something. Is it 2 weeks?
I think so.
Wow, time just flies. Yeah, because it's August 19th. So we'll see how things go in 2 weeks with that whole situation. I don't know. Any more words about Brock Lesnar?
I really don't like how they're using him. Like, I've made a video on this before. They could be using Brock for so much more than what they're using him now. like they're barely using him. Like this year, I think they're allowed to have him appear like 30 something times per year, which is like his contract, and he not even appeared half of that this year. And like I've always looked at Brock Lesnar as the type of guy that he like people say he can't wrestle and stuff. I know Brock can like wrestle and stuff. He just has the Suplex City gimmick, which is why people think he can't wrestle, and that's why people think that Brock is trash. But I always looked at Brock Lesnar as somebody who he can be like this badass character, but he can be like legit good in the ring. Like I look at matches. What I want to see out of Brock Lesnar, like his match with AJ Styles, like that kind of Brock Lesnar, and they could use Brock Lesnar. Brock doesn't have to beat everybody to still have an aura about him. You know, you could. I would have Brock have matches like with AJ Styles and use him to elevate that talent to the next level. Because if you beat Brock Lesnar, that's going to elevate you. But they use Brock in the wrong way. They have him beat everybody with one F5, and then they have him barely wrestle, just do German suplexes, and have him not show up. And then they wonder why people don't like Brock anymore. But they could be using them for a better purpose.
That's very true. And I was sitting there thinking about it, and I sat back and I look at Brock, and, you know, we're going to talk about a little bit more about, you know, New Japan later on. But I wanted to ask you, how do you think Brock would fare with New Japan? Because you have guys who... Brock's a big dude. That's no mistake about it. Brock is a big, scary dude. He's quick, he's agile, and he's huge. However, not the only one out there. Jeff Cobb, Michael Elgin, Hiroshi Goto, Toru Ishii, Minoru Suzuki. These guys aren't necessarily huge, big, tough dudes, but they're very tough and strong striking individuals. So I mentioned these names: Michael Elgin, Jeff Cobb, Suzuki, Ishii. How do you think Brock, in a New Japan setting, would fare against these individuals?
Well, I think if he went to New Japan, I don't think he would have the Suplex City gimmick if he went there. I think he'd have to actually wrestle if he went there, and like, you know, do all his actual like mat wrestling and everything that he knows. And in that type of environment, I think he would be forced to do that, because you're not going to get by in New Japan by just doing German suplexes and not showing up. And I think Brock could be a lot better going there. I don't know if I would say he would be IWGP champion or anything like that, but
Why wouldn't he?
Well,
he did it before.
Well, I could see them doing that since he's like a big name, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how he would do there, especially like with now Brock, because he was in New Japan before, and I never watched any of his New Japan matches, but I heard they were all right. But I think Brock would do good there.
It's a very interesting concept, because I try to picture it, and it's so hard to picture it whenever I think about it, because whenever I try to think about Brock in a different setting, I always just think about WWE Brock. And when I think about WWE Brock, I kind of look at his body of work, and it's just like, eh. So for him to change up his style, I'm curious on how that would go for him facing a guy like Michael Elgin, which I think that match would be fantastic. Or Suzuki was a strong striker. I mean, but if we go after the main heavyweight championship, Kenny Omega's the champion. Yes, Omega's amazing, but
I wonder how Brock versus Omega would go, or like Brock versus Okada, or like Naito even.
I think you destroy Naito. I think Naito would get destroyed. I don't know about Omega and Okada, but I don't know. I look at Naito. Naito's great too. Like I always picture Naito as like the Randy Orton of New Japan, but I'm like, I don't know.
I can see this happening where like Brock hits Okada with one F5, and then like Okada kicks out at like one and then laughs at him. I can see Okada doing that. He can be like, you ain't doing that shit here.
Okada's funny too. Okada would do something like that. Okada's a funny dude. But we're gonna switch over from that. I'll talk about Brock, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about. Do we have any more topics before we just go off the rails? Let's see what we have left here. I think that is all. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is coming up in 2 weeks. We got a couple matches confirmed, a couple matches that may be confirmed. We got AJ Styles taking on Samoa Joe. We got Brock taking on Roman, which I still think will be turned into a triple threat match. We got a weird one in Finn Balor and Baron Corbin. Finn Balor and Baron Corbin, maybe. Mojo Rawley and Bobby Roode for some reason.
Yeah, I heard it's supposed to be on the main card too, like not even pre-show. I don't know why.
So, what do you think about SummerSlam this year? Like, how do you think it's shaping up? What's got you excited for it? What are you hoping for? What?
I think this is gonna be another one of those things where the card looks super good, but the matches are gonna suck. Like how WrestleMania was, where the card looked stacked, but then the matches ended up being disappointing. I feel like this could be something like that. I don't know though. I don't want to get like overly excited for it and then end up being like really disappointed like I was with WrestleMania. And like I don't know. There's matches on there that I'm excited for and that I'm like I want to see, and then there's matches I don't really care for. Like I don't know, man. It's like I'm not gonna get overexcited about it and get my hopes up. I'm gonna go in with low expectations and hopefully I'll be surprised. In terms of the matches, I'm excited for. I'm trying to think what matches are actually on there. If they do make it a triple threat with Roman, Brock, and I'm assuming you're gonna say Lashley, I think it'll be a good match because it won't be like the same old match again if you throw Lashley in there, possibly even Strowman too. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. There's also Strowman versus Kevin Owens, and if Kevin beats Braun, he gets some Money in the Bank.
That's true. I forget about that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Hopefully, Braun don't lose it.
Either way, I don't think it will be necessarily a completely terrible bad thing.
Yeah.
But I think it is Braun Strowman's time to get the title.
Yeah.
If Kevin Owens gets it, I will not be inherently angry. I just think because I think if you're gonna have someone do it, Kevin Owens is the guy to do it. Fine, but I still think Braun Strowman is the guy that should win it, should become champion, go from there. But go ahead.
Yeah, I want Braun to keep it because Kevin had the Universal title before. I don't want Braun to like never like. I feel like this might be his only chance to ever actually get the title, and I want that to happen. But yeah, if it's a triple threat match, I'll be more excited about it. But if it's just gonna be Brock versus Roman, then I really don't care. Because you can already predict how it's going to go. Unless, the only thing that might be exciting about it is maybe the ending of it. But in terms of the actual match, it's probably just going to be, Superman punches and F5 and spears like usual. But the other matches, Finn Balor and Constable Corbin, nobody cares.
What are they doing with Finn Balor?
I don't know. I saw like Baron Corbin got in like that whatever little house thing. He was like, "This is your new dressing room." I don't know what they're doing with them.
It's completely ridiculous at this point. Yeah. And I think SummerSlam. You mentioned this before. Don't know where they're gonna be at.
Who y'all know?
Y'all know.
I don't know.
Who? Do you know who's gonna be at? Let us know. Who exactly you're talking about? But SummerSlam this year, I kind of look at it. I think everyone's having the same kind of mindset this year. Is WrestleMania was a complete sham and was a complete, it wasn't the. I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't that it was super terrible. It's just I felt a lot of us was very disappointed of the quality of these matches. Now, this year, the biggest match that I'm looking forward to, or want to, is AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. However, last time we got super hyped around a match with AJ Styles. I'm not saying that AJ Styles is a bad worker or anything. Mm-hmm. It's just, last time we got super hyped about something like this, we got let down.
It's kind of the same situation if you think about it, because like that same night, Roman and Brock main evented, and I think they didn't let that match go where it could because then they were like, oh well, Roman and Brock aren't gonna be able to like outdo that match, so I don't think they let AJ and Nakamura go as far as they could, and I think that's why in the coming pay-per-views when the Universal Championship wasn't on the line, they let them do more because they didn't let me try to word it. They didn't have to worry about the Universal title getting outshined by the WWE title.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why the match was so underwhelming, and it's the same situation as SummerSlam again, where Brock and Roman are in the main event. So I'm starting to think that AJ and Samoa Joe aren't going to be able to do as much as we all expect, and it might be an AJ Nakamura situation again, where the match might not be that good, but then like if they face again after SummerSlam, the matches might be really good.
Well, I think, looking back, I don't necessarily agree with that wholeheartedly. I do to a degree, but a little bit why I said don't is because I think the situation was Nakamura wasn't a heel, and you didn't have a proper heel to do better matches. Because the next match that they had, that I thought was really good, and was starting off really good, it's just that it was a wonky finish, was the match they had at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Nakamura was doing a lot of healer stuff that I really enjoyed. I thought each match that they had after, they got better because Nakamura was playing a heel role. Samoa Joe is playing that heel role that AJ Styles needs. Not only that, AJ Styles had a really, really good match against Rusev at Extreme Rules.
I'm not really sure Rusev is a heel or a face. Like, I don't know. I think
He's a tweener. He's a tweener at this point. So...
Well, it's not like you can't do face versus face.
Well, like, you can, but I just think they booked it in that way because they knew they were going to turn Nakamura heel. So they wanted things to go a certain way. With Samoa Joe already in that heel role, I think they might go about things a different way. And I think the match quality might go about a different way. I mean, these are two of the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, anywhere else, whether it was TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, these two, I mean, even though Samoa Joe's never been in New Japan, these two would rock the house down either way. So, I think it's going to be, I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to get my hopes up. But I think because Samoa Joe is already playing that bad guy role, that this one will be a lot more acceptable and a lot better than we were given at WrestleMania with AJ and Shinsuke. With that also being said, I also think Samoa Joe might win. But before we go, we got a question here. They have different matches at. There's gonna be a match at SummerSlam in 2 weeks, and I'm not sure it is in Brooklyn. So if you're in the Brooklyn area, or if you're in New York, that's where you can watch it or be there for it. But yeah, going back to SummerSlam, AJ and Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe might pick up this one. However, because AJ Styles is the cover star for 2K19, there's a lot of speculation that he might hold on to the title until next year's WrestleMania. My question is for you, do you think AJ should hold on to it till WrestleMania, or do you think it's either now or never for Samoa Joe to hold the WWE Championship?
Well, I feel like this might be Samoa Joe's like one and only opportunity. But I do like I'm split because I want Samoa Joe to win the title because I don't like I said with Strowman, I don't want him to not ever have the title. But I know they're gonna want AJ to be champion for when the game comes out because he's the cover star. But I mean, AJ's had quite a long run.
Oh yeah,
I think he's at like 200 something days now.
He's getting close.
He's like the 16th longest title reign now ever.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if there's really much else he can do with the title, besides like
I disagree on that.
Maybe like I mean, he's still got people to face, but as a champion, I think he's been champion pretty long enough, and like for Samoa Joe, this might be like it. This might be like the one chance he gets. If Samoa Joe loses, like are they just gonna give him a rematch, or like I don't know. I'm worried about it because I don't want Samoa Joe to never have the title.
Well, let's look in the let's look in the up and down side because it's a really touchy subject because of the fact that AJ Styles. Well, let's break it down to his title run that he's had so far. And let's look inside the run that he's had so far and determine if he should continue it. He defeated Jinder Mahal in November. Was it November?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. He then went on, faced December. No, it's December. Yeah, December. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, he faced Brock Lesnar. He lost, but had a good showing as a champion. He then went on to have a feud with.
What was that?
He had a feud with somebody. He feuded with somebody before Nakamura.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it? No, it wasn't that. What was it?
It might have been someone who was on Raw.
I don't know. I actually don't remember.
Was it Kevin Owens?
No.
It was.
It wasn't.
It was, remember? Okay.
I thought that was.
It was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Oh, yeah.
He had like a little feud with them for like a little bit. Because that's when Shane got involved. And
and then they ended up doing the whole six-pack challenge thing at Fastlane.
Yeah, and they had like a 6-man match.
Yeah.
AJ won that. I think he faced like AJ Styles for the title on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
AJ won that. We would then go on to Royal Rumble.
Shinsuke won that. Mm.
He faced somebody at Royal Rumble though.
AJ. I don't remember who it was.
I want to say Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. I don't know.
He would then go on to feud with Sami Zayn. He had like 3 or 4 matches at like each pay-per-view. One at the Greatest Royal Rumble, one at WrestleMania, one at Backlash, or was it No Mercy?
I don't know why I can't remember this stuff, but I don't remember. I really don't.
The matches he had, and then he had another match with Nakamura at Money in the Bank. That was probably their best match that he had. He would then feud with Rusev. Had a good feud with Rusev for like a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good match with Rusev. Now feuding with Samoa Joe. Now, if he wins, the potential opponents he could have, the feud with to WrestleMania, Randy Orton. Maybe they could bring up Shelton Benjamin.
Maybe. I don't know what they're doing with Shelton Benjamin right now.
Who's another guy? Almas.
Yeah.
I would say that for WrestleMania, which is why I held back on that. Maybe The Miz. But here's one. Here you go. So, what if they want to do... I don't know if they would hold off into this. Because, WrestleMania, so you have to get to Royal Rumble before you get to WrestleMania. What if, at Royal Rumble 2019, Miz, AJ Styles, maybe AJ has a feud with Almas and Randy before Royal Rumble. Miz at Royal Rumble, Miz beats him for the title, and you can do Miz, Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania for the title.
So you'd have Bryan win the Royal Rumble?
Pretty much.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess they're doing Bryan versus Miz at SummerSlam too.
Right. But I don't think that's the last time those two are gonna feud though.
Mm-hmm. But like they'd have to build it all the way to WrestleMania too.
And we know how they are with building.
Yeah. Well, like Daniel Bryan even said it himself. Like he came out and said like he doesn't trust WWE to book it until then. I don't know what I don't even know if he's gonna resign.
I think he's leaning towards resigning.
Some people are saying he's signed already. Some people are saying he's not. I don't know what's going on. Something's got to happen within the next month.
Well, yeah, we'll know. We'll know eventually.
Yeah.
That could be why they're doing it so early.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's our early SummerSlam talk. As the weeks go by and more news comes out and more matches are announced.
We ain't talking about the wrestling matches?
Well, no, there's not like a whole lot to talk about in SummerSlam yet.
What about the U.S. title match?
We'll save it. We gotta see what's going on with SmackDown tonight.
Oh yeah.
Which we should probably like put it on.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Well, yeah. There's one last little bit we're gonna talk about. We're talking about the G1 Supercar, and we're gonna talk about the G1 Climax 28. I'm going to go ahead and put it on while we're doing this. Just put it on mute.
Okay.
So it's just sorry 9 o'clock. So the G1 Climax 28. This is my third G1 Climax that I have been following. What is this for you? How much have G1 have you been following this year?
Just the matches you showed me.
Okay. Who are some of the standouts? Are there some of the, let's see, from the matches I've shown you, are there some standouts that you are liking, or like what are your thoughts on it so far?
I'm liking Juice Robinson so far.
Okay.
And Tama Tonga.
Okay.
But Okada ain't doing too well. He keep losing.
Well, since from what I've showed you, Kazuchika Okada, he has defeated, who did he defeat? He defeated Yoshihashi. He defeated Michael Elgin. He defeated Minoru Suzuki. I think he's starting to climb up. He's starting to like climb up and get himself some points. Kenny Omega is undefeated right now in the tournament, so there's that. I think he has like maybe 10 points at this point, which is like so far the most anyone has. But standouts that I see in this G1 tournament: Hangman Page, Elgin, Juice, as you mentioned, Tama Tonga. He's good on promo stuff, but the match quality isn't all there for me. But yeah, I look at Hangman Page, I look at Juice, two young guys who are two Gaijins, Juice Robinson being a U.S. champion. Hangman Page, I think, not this year, but like his year is growing. Like the matches I've seen of Hangman, him and Jay White, him and Okada, him and Elgin, Hangman and Tanahashi. Hangman Page has been putting on some great matches. Mm-hmm. And if it's not 2018, 2019 is definitely the year that I think people need to have their eyes on Hangman Page, because Hangman Page is going to be on a big rising stardom, being a top star in New Japan, Ring of Honor, and who knows where else he's going to be at. Also, Michael Elgin. What can you not say about Michael Elgin? Michael Elgin. I get the hiccups. I'm sorry. Michael Elgin has all the tools and ability in the world that he should be world champion, and that's kind of the problem I have with Michael Elgin, is he's not booked as a world champion, but his wrestling ability is top notch. I have not watched a bad Michael Elgin match yet, especially in this G1 Climax. He's been having phenomenal matches against, like I mentioned, Okada. He's had great matches with Evil. That was a really good match. He had a really good match with Jay White as well. So, I mean, this tournament has been pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it just as much as I enjoyed it last year when Tetsuya Naito won it last year. So let me ask you, who do you think will probably win it this year?
I mean,
I should probably give you who is winning the most so far. Kenny Omega is winning his block so far the most. Jay White also has like a lot of big wins. And I think Tama Tonga. I think the two who have like the most wins right now are Kota Ibushi, Omega, and Jay White. But they're also named like anyone. It's not like it's still up for grabs for maybe not anyone, but like a lot of people. So,
I'm probably gonna go with Kenny.
Kenny?
Yeah.
So you think as the world champion, he's gonna go undefeated and win the G1?
Maybe. Would that be the first time somebody's ever done that?
I think only one other person has done that.
Maybe he will. I don't know.
I mean, he's been putting it on, and like this G1, me watching it. It's not me necessarily watching it for Kenny. I mean, Kenny's been putting on some of the best matches in the tournament. There's no stopping about that. He's been on the best matches. So it is Okada. So is Naito. So is Tanahashi. I'm not watching the tournament for them. I want to see some of these newer guys like Heyman Page and Juice Robinson, and I want to see how well they do going forward to see them rise. Because we've seen Juice Robinson how he was in NXT, and I enjoy the matches they've been putting on. He's been hitting like jackhammers and power bombs and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying looking at Juice and going, wow, he was this in NXT, and he's putting on amazing matches with some of the best wrestlers I've ever seen now. I think someone who's going to win the whole shebang. Oh, man. I think if we're going to go fantasy booking, I think Kota Ibushi might do it. Either we're going to get Kota, because we're going to get Kota Ibushi versus Kenny Omega in the tournament, because they're in the same block. So we're either going to get Kota, and I don't know, Kota might win it and challenge Kenny at Wrestle Kingdom, or I think they really want to push Jay White. Jay White. I'm not too hot on Jay White, but at first, like some of the matches I saw Jay White, I wasn't too hot on. But some of the matches I've seen as of recently in the G1 Climax, he's been really good. I mentioned him and Michael Elgin. That's a might want to go ahead and check that one match out. It's really good. Him and Tanahashi was really good. I enjoyed him and Okada. Jay White is I think he's changed his finisher. I don't like the switchblade. The way he does it, he does it too slow. At first I liked it. I think it's just the matter who sells for it. Like Kota and Kenny, they're gonna sell on the neck, so it looks really good. But like regular guys, it just doesn't look as impactful. But yeah, that's our little G1 talk. One last little thing here before we get going. I want to talk about the G1 Supercard that will take place in 2019, sometime in April. Also, All In that will take place in September.
I forget when it is. It's like early September.
Early September?
Yeah.
We have Supercard of Honor, Supercard G1, whatever we want to call it, G1 Supercard of Honor, whatever. It's Ring of Honor, New Japan put together
In Madison
Square Garden, the first ever
non-WWE wrestling ever there.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? Like, how is this fair? How do you feel about this? What does this mean to you? What do you think this will mean for the wrestling community going forward outside WWE?
It's going to mean big things for them because they've been around 50 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And they've never ever had any company besides WWE in Madison Square Garden. And now independent wrestling has become, places outside WWE have become so big that now they're finally going to have an event at the Garden, and it shows that they're becoming bigger and better, and that WWE is not the only thing out there anymore. And it's really showing how far independent wrestling has come, and this is going to be a great thing for them because this is only going to, for one, it's going to make WWE, open their eyes at them, and they're going to want to try to sign everybody up before it happens.
Okay.
And I guess WWE tried to stop it from happening, but it didn't work.
Yeah, the original, from what I know, they originally were going to call her to do it. Dewey said no. Like a week later, it ended up happening anyway. So I don't know what happened there, but how they were able to get it. But I guess Madison, the Garden said, screw it, you guys deserve it.
But I do think it's going to be big for independent wrestling. This is just step one of where they can go.
Oh yeah.
And I think eventually it could get to a place where that distracted me. I forgot what I was going to say. Let me try to regroup what I was going to say. I think it could. I don't even remember what I was going to say now. That freaking distracted me.
Independent wrestling.
Oh yeah, I think it could get them to a point where they become so big that people will start going there instead of WWE, and WWE will have equal competition in New Japan, Ring of Honor, stuff like that. And I think it could eventually get to a point where WWE will no longer be the place to be. Especially with the way New Japan and stuff is putting on matches and stuff like that. Like the way they're putting on matches and all the stuff they're doing. If an audience as big as WWE's audience gets their eyes on that and they see that kind of stuff, they're going to want that over anything WWE is doing. And down the line, that could ultimately be the demise of WWE if they get to that level. And this is going to show that you don't have to go to WWE to be successful.
True.
And I don't know what else to say because I lost my train of thought again.
But no, you just about hit it. Yeah, it's just exactly the kind of the words out of my mouth. If they successfully with All In and with New Japan in Ring of Honor, we see Jeff Cobb. He's now at Ring of Honor. I hope more wrestlers have. Sorry, we got distracted. I hope more wrestlers have this more DIY, do-it-yourself mentality to want to take the wrestling business and be more independent, because it's just like you said, they could be New Japan is on fire right now. No one's touching them right now. I don't think in terms of match qualities, no one's touching them. I think it's something we could see as of late, and going forward, I'm excited to see what happens because they could end up being the demise for WWE.
Well, I was watching a video JD made on that kind of subject, and what he said made me think. Because he was talking about the whole CM Punk thing and how Ring of Honor is trying to get him on Supercard, G1 Supercard, and he was talking about how the landscape of wrestling could change. He was like, what if Daniel Bryan doesn't sign and he goes back and is on that show, and then you have CM Punk on that show, and what if New Japan were to sign AJ, Shinsuke, and the club back?
Oh man,
that could change the whole landscape of wrestling. And he said there could actually be a legit wrestling war going on if all that was to happen.
You know what? When you put it like that, if they were to get Nakamura back, AJ and the club, and then with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, it really honestly could shake the landscape of wrestling. That's a thought process I haven't thought about. But when you think about that, I mean, I don't think it will happen.
Just imagine if it
but
did.
If it did, wow. And we're still matches you get Okada and Omega. Wait, we already seen that. So Omega, AJ Styles, Omega Nakamura. Those two could go at it again. AJ and Daniel Bryan. I mean, we've seen that now, but
throw CM Punk into that mix too.
Oh man,
God,
geez, CM Punk and Okada, CM Punk and Naito, man, it's we'll talk more about it. But this has been a pretty good talk. I think we've been going at this for about an hour.
Let me check. Hour and 3 minutes.
Hour and 3 minutes. I think we had to get enough time on this.
This has been the first episode of the podcast.
Yes, we'll try to do this at least once a week.
We'll try to.
We'll try to. It might not work every week, but
more is definitely coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. We'll try to get a movie one out. If not today, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this live, thank you guys for watching. If you are watching this later down the road, not live, on our Facebook or our YouTube channel, leave a comment down below. Let us know some stuff you want to see. Let us know your feelings about Women's Evolution thing, about the G1, about SummerSlam, about Brock Lesnar, about everything we talked about. Let us know in the comments about how you feel. This has been Tony Rob.
This has been Demo.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace out, everyone.